Good morning, everybody. I'm like on my hump day of the week because I have to work Saturdays. But anyway, yeah, I'm on my hump day. Not feeling it today. And a lot of people, I get questioned all the time. What amp should I run, Jerry? What head unit should I run? What subwoofer should I run? What mid should I run? Well, first off and foremost, whatever you can afford. Because, at the end of the day, if you're beating, you're beating. You got some bass in there, it's all good. So, yeah, I say run whatever you can afford. And then the guys that, obviously have more money, do your research on name brand stuff. Like whatever name brand that you're drawn to. But, yeah, first and foremost, whatever you can afford. Now, you guys that are like, I have such and such truck, what can I fit under the seat? Man, I don't know, because honestly, I don't have one of them trucks. And every vehicle is a little different, so you gotta, break out a tape measure, start measuring, and then come up with a game plan. Whether or not you're gonna try to build a box under there, or if it's got a real choppy, like floor pan or whatever, then you might actually have to break out fiberglass mat and resin. So, just to pull enough airspace. So that's my answer to those. Like whatever you can afford, and get a tape measure and learn how to calculate airspace. I've said it before, 1728 is your friend. To calculate airspace, height times width times depth. Divide by 1728. The number you get is gonna be your cubic feet. And then, you gotta do the math to determine, like, if you're using 3/4 inch wood, you got a piece on this side, that side. So obviously on width, you would subtract 1.5 inches, and that way 1.5 inches, and that way 1.5 inches. But yeah, you get the gist. I can't really help people when they're like, I had this car and I'm wanting to do this, because I don't know. I've never measured one of them cars. I'm still kind of a noob like you guys. But no, when I get a car, that's one of the first things I do is I go in there with a tape measure and I measure everything and write numbers down and then start figuring out. And if I can't pull enough, I start looking at where I can pull a couple more inches on each measurement. And then another thing you got to be on the lookout for is where you're going to mount battery and amplifiers. And, you got to bring all that into the equation. That's kind of why when I started the blue Jeep, I was really just going to do 1 or 2 15s in the back. And when I did all the measurement to calculate a box in the back, I really didn't have room for batteries or anything. Because, I wanted to stay I didn't want to go super high. I wanted to keep it even with the seat. And it really, I had no room for batteries and amplifiers. So I just said to hell with it and walled it. But back to the whole budget thing. Everybody's on a budget. I mean, I have a 15 in here. I don't have an amp on it. I put the amp in my wife's car on her door. And I actually need to do a big 3 in here. It's still on stock alternator. I got a big Duracell, a Duralast MotoZone AGM in the back. And I didn't do a big 3 or anything. I just kind of threw this in here in a day. So I still have to do a big 3 on it and then put an amp in it. And I'm like you guys, I'm on a budget too. Especially this time of year, dude, because tattooing gets slow. I be tattooing people cheap this time of year just to get a paycheck. But I'm also looking at the fact that I plan on rebuilding my blue Jeep and redoing the enclosure in it. And it ain't like I really had to buy anything expensive except for wood. Yeah, that's what's hurting my feelings right now. Because normally a couple years ago, I could have went to the wood place with $400 and got all the wood I needed. And a couple tubes of PL3X and some glue. And maybe a box or two of screws. And now it's I'm sitting here figuring shit up, and it's like, yeah, I'm probably going to need about $1,300 or $1,400. Yeah. And I don't know if I'm rebuilding back with pine. I mean, the old Jeep did great with a pine plywood enclosure, but I've been researching like other woods, and I'm thinking about wanting to do it a little better. Am I going to fork out the money for birch? Probably not. Especially like Home Depot or Lowe's birch, which is nothing more than a pine center with like a birch, you know, thin layer on each side of it. I really like the maple I built the wife's blazer out of, but God, that stuff is so hard. Man, it was snapping off like deck screws trying to screw them in. You really need to pre-drill like every hole. But other than that, guys, that's really all I got today is run what you can afford. Man, we all start somewhere in the base world. If I'm at a show and somebody offers me a demo, I don't care if they got some Sony Explodes, some Boss, some Dual, you know, I don't care. Because I was that kid at one time, you know, with cheap stuff. I'll get a demo. I'll be happy to get a demo. Because I know, and you know, I put a post on Facebook about this. I talked Steve Duncan, Chris Lee, you know, Bobby Mansfield. I tagged like the loud guys that I know. Daniel Powell. And all of them said the same thing. They said they love getting demos, and these guys are heavy hitters, and they don't give a shit what you got in your car. They love to get a demo. It's just most of us at shows, like the Jeep, dude, I'm not one of the super loud guys. I'm loud, but not one of them guys. I have a line, when I'm playing the Jeep, I got a line outside the door of people wanting demos, so it is really hard for me to get away and get demos, but when I do, I don't care what I'm sitting in. Because I was one of the kids that started just like you guys. But anyway, that's it for today. I just want to make a quick video answering them questions. I get so many of them. And my answer is always going to be the same. Run what you can afford, man. Do your research. Try to get the best bang you can for your buck. All right, everybody. Peace out. And as always, base on. Don't forget our show, November 27th, Ainer, South Carolina. Peace out, everybody.